Started? Has it officially started now?
Yep.
Have we learned everything? All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the Hammerspace third annual podcast. Um, it's amazing how quickly 3 years has passed. Uh,
I was waiting for someone to bring it up.
Yeah, I was like, it's not our third.
Well, we are playing Xenoverse. We can kind of time travel.
that's true. Time means nothing because we're playing a shitty Dragon Ball game.
Whoa!
I am
Excuse you, sir.
I am Chris. The outraged man is Brian, and the other man is Rory. Will was going to join us, but his computer died right before we started, so that's unfortunate.
It
Hopefully.
didn't have the will to go on.
All right. Well, puns have happened.
Tons of happened.
Try to moderate this like NPR. Hey everybody, welcome to National Public Radio.
Tons of.
Today we're talking about Dragon Ball Z.
Well, that's the
And
main.
its effects on.
That's the main treat this time around. Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse.
I think that's...
Surprisingly good game.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's one of those games. This is something that I actually usually like games like this. It's one of those games that actually has a lot of flaws that stop it from being rated as a like a perfect game or like a great game. But it also just gets so many things right that are just fun. And so even though it's got like these huge problems, you're just kind of like, whatever. Like you don't really care. There's a lot of games like that I really like. Games like Custom Robo have like some pretty serious issues, but who the fuck cares? The robot fighting is really fun, and so you just do that.
Yeah. I can say
Like-
the same for Nair.
Yeah, for Nier or Nier or Nier, whatever it is. It's
If
Nier.
you want
Is
to go
that
by the
official
Japanese
pronunciation?
pronunciation, it's Naya.
Or also known as the game nobody bought. I do want to play
But
it
it
though.
was still amazing.
Was
But
it?
you know, Nair kind of fits into the first topic that we had set up.
The first
Really
topic that we have set up
transitioned smooth
is
into that
art
one.
is art style in games. What we're going to be covering here is this is a topic that Brian wanted to talk about mostly because most of his work in, at least what he studies in game design, is regarding the visuals. So it's basically just going to be him giving us his opinion and us trying not to point out how stupid he is on stream.
Opinion number one, Fire Emblem Awakening only sold so well because of its art style.
I don't think that's the only reason why, but I do think it was a large reason why.
Yeah, it has they went with a very appealing art style, and I think they know that, which is why they stuck with it for If.
Yeah, well, yeah, the art style is pretty easy to digest, I suppose, and it does appeal to a lot of the people who have 3DSs. But I also think a large part of its success was because it was one of the first games on the 3DS that was like worth getting.
Good.
I suppose. even though I don't particularly like it.
It helps match the and I swear to God, Rory, if you say what I think you're going to say when I mention this, it's very close to the current Shin Megami Tensei art style.
Hey Brian, what are you playing on right now?
I'm playing on the PlayStation 4.
You are? It's not on Wii U?
Why would it be on the Wii U?
Because everything's on the Wii U. The Wii U gets all the multi-platform games.
God damn it.
I heard that Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem was canceled earlier today. In an investors meeting with Iwata, he announced that there will be no Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. Instead, it's Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei. They reversed the order.
I heard that he was actually just going to cross over Shin Megami Tensei and Dragon Ball Z. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and just nip this in the bud right now. Yeah, never mind. So wait, you're playing on the PlayStation, Brian?
I'm playing on the PlayStation 4. I accidentally restarted
Cool.
the same mission.
Dylan wants to play with you.
Does he have it on the
if-
PlayStation 4?
Yeah, he's on PS3. Do PS3 and PS4 go cross-platform, or is it just
I don't know. I would assume not.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, never mind then.
I'm sorry.
Get with the times, man. Get a PS4. For the one game it has. What am I saying? Right. So yeah, I think art style actually is a huge part because the fact is, um, especially I feel like the American market is very visually driven, which is why we see like a common. I mean, that's why you see such a common. What was that? What was that?
What, this? Are you hearing Trunks talk through my PS4 controller?
I think it's Trunks.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
you should turn off. Maybe you should turn that down, Brian.
Alright, I'll, let me see.
No, but I think art
Adjust
style
the-
does like. Art style is like a huge thing to get right, which is unfortunate to me because it feels like the art style, like to me personally, whether or not the art style is good, has very little to do with whether or not the game is good. But I will admit that, I mean, that creates that first impression, and the first impression is kind of what sells a game. I mean, I've got to be honest, the reason that I picked up Fire Emblem in the first place, not Awakening, but back, Fire Emblem 7, the first one that came to America, it was because of the box art.
Yeah, the box art's really cool.
And a lot of the games that I got, Dragon Warrior 3, which got me into RPGs, I bought because I liked the box art. Phoenix Wright, why did I get Phoenix Wright?
Because you secretly wanted to pursue a career in law?
I got Phoenix Wright because of the music. I had a friend who would play Phoenix Wright music on the piano all the time, so then I got Phoenix Wright. And then my mom got me Elite Beat Agents because she thought it looked like Phoenix Wright. So she's like, yeah, so he'll like it because it looks like it, right? And there's a lot of games that she got me because she thought that they looked like other games that I liked. So because of the art style, like she got me when I was a kid, she got me Romancing Saga because she thought that the box art looked like Zelda. So I mean,
Is
no, art style
Romancing
is
Saga
huge.
good?
I enjoy it. It's got problems, but it's also just really engrossing.
So, it's like Dragon Ball Z Sagas?
Dragon Ball Z Sagas, no. Dragon Ball Z Sagas is fantastic if you're too young to understand quality.
Basically.
If being Trunks is enough to like get you rock hard, Dragon Ball Z Sagas is fantastic.
How much
Which-
of DBZ did Sagas cover? Just to the Cell games, right?
I think so. The cool part was going to Trunks' future, like going to Trunks' timeline. That was like the really cool part. You actually got to go and just play in that, but it's still like the grindiest game in the goddamn world. I swear to God. I don't. Do you think? So I guess so. As far as art style affects games, do you think that ultimately it's a good or a bad thing that the art style is so important? Like, do you think it helps prioritize game development and actually make them do things right, or do you think it distracts from the actual game part of it?
It depends on what kind of game we're talking. Like, I think with a game like The Wind Waker, you can only do a game like that in that style if that's the specific art style you're using.
And at the same time, though, Wind Waker saw a huge backlash because of the art style.
I know, and that's one thing I don't like. That's one thing I hate about the Western audience, is that we're so quick to judge based off art style alone.
It's
Like-
true. It's funny
like-
because Wind Waker gets called such a childish game so many times, but it actually has some of the darker themes in the entire series.
And I still think it's the most fleshed out, and I think it feels the freshest out of any Zelda game I've ever played. Fuck Twilight Princess, that game has not aged well.
Nope.
But Twilight Princess
so much nope.
fanboys will defend it to the end of the earth.
I think Wind Waker does stand out.
You're right.
Well, Wind Waker and Spirit Tracks do stand out as more. They do seem like the least like non-traditionally Zelda games out of all the Zelda games.
Say that they'll kill anyone. I wonder why they didn't come out this time.
Oh my god.
No.
Who knows?
What?
I think
Who's
that,
that?
Whim.
Majora's-esque?
Perhaps.
I think that the art
But
style,
anyway, good
like
job,
you guys are saying, like how it gets really
Yes.
quickly
Thank you.
over in North America, and I think that like that really affects the way that, like, I think that because if one bigger company or one bigger reviewing site reviews the game poorly and highlights how bad the visuals are, or like says that the art style is bad, then I think that that causes some panic, and I think that it has too much of an impact on the rest of the North American consumer base. And I think that, like, you get a game like Fire Emblem Awakening where the art style is really, really nice, and it gets reviewed that way, then it gets reviewed more positively, and then other people see it, and it causes, like, a difference in the art style. It just shows the impact of the art style more.
I guess if there's a really good game that has really distinct art style, then something else that kind of looks like that is going to immediately make people associate, like, because it has a similar art style, like they're going to feel like they're going to get the same kind of experience out of it. Which I guess is the kind of reason why we've seen shooters kind of homogenize towards, like,
Realism.
the two different kinds. Not even realism. There's like two things. There's like two polar things. They either try to look like Call of Duty or they try to look like Halo. So they either try to look like realism with the same like color palette and everything, or they try to look sci-fi, but they try to look sci-fi in like the same way that Halo does. Which I guess is, and the sad thing is, I mean, it does get results. You know, we can complain about the homogenization, but it does get results. 'Cause I would love for there to be a shooter that uses colors. You know, like I would
Like
love
Splatoon.
like Splatoon,
Like
which literally
Splatoon.
uses colors. Yet we, as a North American audience, loved Okami so much. I feel like Okami. Tony brings up a good point. Okami does get a lot of praise, but I think that Okami is a bit of a special case in that it's a game about the art style, kind of. So people are like more forgiving and lenient on it because they're like, oh, it's about painting, so they want it to look like it was painted. And I think it also had like the cult effect happen, where because it was this obscure thing, a lot of people decided they really liked it because it was obscure, I guess.
Plus, it was just amazing.
I think it's a little overrated. I do think it's very good. I like it a lot. But a lot of people are like, this is like the best, like one of the best games ever made. And I'm like, I don't know.
That praying scene near the end of the game gets me every time.
See, I didn't think the story was actually that emotional. I don't know. Maybe I just need to replay it again.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I did
like
really
the rest
like
of
it.
the game isn't emotional to me. It's just the praying scene is.
But I also
don't know
didn't think
why.
Skyward Sword's ending was emotional. I thought it was annoying, so whatever.
Yeah, you'd have to be some kind of special needs person in order to cry at that ending.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
We're gonna get a cease and we're gonna get a cease and desist from Nate.
You mean the person who pronounces Hylian as Helium?
No, he pronounces Iwata as Iwata. Team Fortress 2 is a shooter that has a lot of color and personality. That's true. I think Team Fortress 2 gets leeway to do that because it's also largely a comedy game.
Not to mention
yeah.
it's Valve. So...
Yeah, not to mention it's Valve. But yeah, I think the large part of it is because people like look at it and they don't look at it like they don't go to it for the same experience that they get from the other shooters. They don't go to it for like a huge like adrenaline burst and like kind of like feeling macho. They go to it for like the fucking chaos and how ridiculous it is. So maybe that's really what it is like, does your art style accurately communicate what you're going to get out of the game? Because it is true that like the way that things look have like a subconscious effect on what people expect from them. There's a whole there's all these rules for like people who make cartoons, for example. Like the whole Looney Tunes thing. Like they have like a template and like a design. Like Hanna-Barbera uses this too, where if your character is a protagonist, this is the general body shape he should have. If he is a sidekick, he should be more rounded in this way. Like it's like depending on like what character traits you want this character to have, here's how to communicate that through their body shape so that the audience immediately knows who they are. And I guess that the same kind of philosophy applies to everything. I'm just kind of looking at my shelf right now of all the games and just kind of thinking, you know, like how the box art communicates what the game's like about, even tone-wise.
Yeah, that's my mom knows I love fantasy. I have since I was a kid, so she from the moment she saw the original Fable box art, she immediately knew what it was about and knew that it would appeal to me and my sister. And sure enough, me and my sister love the shit out of the original Fable. I like Fable 2 too. Fable 3 can go burn and die.
You know what's interesting? Hmm? Go ahead.
I think that box art is a different thing than the art style of the game, the way we're talking about it. Because the way we're talking about it, we're talking about how the art style and the box art are. Are we talking about how the box art portrays the art style?
It can be both.
Well, just generally about how the visuals, like impact how somebody feels about a game before they even play it. And the box art, so basically like box art and then what you see like in trailers and such before it are like the two things that would affect. Yeah.
So I think that the box art for games is more of a marketing thing, because it's in most of the promotional stuff you see, and they highlight exactly what makes the art style of all the games that they market great. So like on the Smash Brothers one, you have all the characters coming at you, right? And that's it highlights the overall theme of the game, where it's just a big mashup of fighters just fighting each other, and like it's got all of the different characters. It shows everything about the game right there, and I think that's like that just enhances the point of its art style. It has a very diverse art style because it uses a lot of different realistic and fantasy and cartoony, all sorts of stuff. But like, it's just it's just like, I think that I was looking at my games too. I'm like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. It just you look at the box art and you see how cute the game looks, and how the game will probably have like a happy tone. I think that the art style focuses in on how the game will play, how the game will progress through itself, and how the game will eventually get to the point where the box art, you can look at the box art and know, and like immediately think of all the stuff that you've done while you've played the game. And I think that box art is more important than we think it is, based on that.
I really think it is. Like, I'm looking at just like all the Wii U ones right now, and yeah, you can see like when a game is like a multiplayer game. Like I've got like right here like Sonic and All Stars Racing, and Nintendo Land, and yeah, Smash Brothers. It's just all different characters. Like there's no real focus on one particular. Like there's like the person in the foreground, except for in the case of Nintendo Land where there are like main characters. And you got a game like Pikmin. The main characters aren't even on the Pikmin cover. It's just about the Pikmin. And so they're just right there. And the art style, too, what's interesting is, the blurred photo, like something I just noticed about Pikmin 3 cover, which I think is really interesting. You know how Pikmin 3, part of what gave it such a stylized appearance was how they emphasized how small everything was by pulling focus, like, really, really hardcore. So that Pikmin are, like, really in focus, and then, like, everything around the edges was out of focus. The cover art for Pikmin 3 does that.
Yeah.
It's blurred around the edges. It's kind of cool. Like, I didn't even realize that like, those camera techniques even were carried over.
I want to see something. How many people are on the cover of the Smash Bros. 4 box art?
Oh, Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of the 49 characters. Or 48, depending on...
I was wondering if it was 8,
Japanese.
since there were 8 playable characters in Big Smash. Or whatever you call it. 8 players.
Oh,
Smash.
okay.
I was wondering if they had secretly communicated that through the cover.
That would have been sneaky.
It's kind of
You know what they
interesting.
did do though? Sakurai did state that the 4 is technically in the title since it's Smash Brothers 4 Wii U.
I wonder, are there any cases where the art style doesn't reflect, like where the box art doesn't actually reflect the art style of the game itself? Well, like I'm looking at it, like all these like look like the way that they
I mean,
do.
even Corey in the house has it properly.
Oh no, Zack and
Yeah,
Sweet Life of Zack and
Corey in the
Cody.
house. Corey in the house just has like the title of the game just like stapled over a piece of shit.
If you look at the Zack and Cody game, the art style does not match the actual art style in the game. Like, it's
Oh,
much
Zack and
more-
Cody didn't get it right. Oh man.
Zack and Cody did not get it right. The Hannah Montana game did though.
Actually, I guess if you go to the older games, if you go to the PlayStation 1 and 64 era, like all the box art and everything looks a lot nicer than the actual thing in game because
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
wanted to draw a bunch of polygons and shit. Like the
Exactly.
Final Fantasy VII's box art compared to the actual in-game art style. Although I guess a lot of the elements are still there, like in terms of what colors they use and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even back then though, game like Crash Bandicoot, like the very first one, it does a fantastic job of having the elements of like Crash running away from the the boulder or whatever on the cover. I'm just gonna pull it up because it's been a while since I looked at it. It's got him like running away. He's running through the cover of the game itself. It shows you like the boxes in the back. It shows you pretty much like a direct picture from the level. And I'll like, I don't know about you guys, but those are like my favorite levels in the game where you're like running away from the boulder or whatever. And I just think that like even back then, that Naughty Dog had their game on by having something so subtle transfer so well into their game, because you can look at you look at the cover of Crash Bandicoot and you know exactly what it is because it shows you exactly what it is. It's not trying to hide anything like a lot of those games in that time would. And I think it's just impressive that they had such attention to detail back when it probably wasn't an established thing to have good box art. The box art was used as a marketing tool back then.
I wonder if it's as relevant now as it used to be. Like back before the internet and everything, you didn't really have many ways to see, what a game was going to look like before you bought it, and the box art was really all you had to go off of. Unless you caught like a
Art,
commercial. Or something.
Mega Man.
Mega Man, you mean the one, like the most out of place art
Jesus.
box art?
Yeah, where there's like this
That is
huge, like
one
fat,
on-
grumpy guy in a
I love
Yeah.
that they kept that kind of a
holding like a tiny blaster gun that looks like the cricket from Men in Black. Like
I like that they kept
Yeah,
that
yeah,
for
yeah.
Mega Man 9 and 10. They kept the old 80s box art. That was
God, it's
great.
so I wonder. So Fire Emblem's shift in art style. Do you think that if they went back to if Fire Emblem went back to their traditional kind of medieval, like more medieval fantasy style and dropped the anime style, do you think that it would negatively impact sales, or do you think that they would be able to keep the fans that they got with Awakening, even if they ditched the anime art style?
Oh, I think it definitely hurt the sales of the game. Because,
Yeah.
with Wind Waker, it sold 5 million. Twilight Princess sold about 10 million. Skyward Sword sold about 3.5 million. It was clear fans only bought Twilight Princess because it was more realistic than Wind Waker. And it was a
more
realistic
gritty.
fantasy game, which is
Well,
something
that's-
people want.
The timing of Twilight Princess also mattered too, though. I mean, considering it came at the end of GameCube, beginning of Wii, and was like largely pushed. Skyward Sword also like the motion controls and everything isolated a lot of people. Either way, yeah. I guess Zelda's actually a really good franchise to use when it comes to art style, just because every game so far, aside from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, have changed art styles.
Yeah, Fire Emblem would not do as well. It would do well, but would not do as well as Awakening did if they had dropped the art style.
I'm convinced that Nier's poor sales were also because of its in-game art style. Like, the box art on the cover looks great, but in-game it looks like a PS 2.5 game.
Yeah.
I actually remember the reviews focusing on that when it came out too. I remember people saying like that it was really unpolished and was not a good like show of the PS3's like capabilities or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember reviews focusing on the visuals. So yeah, I wonder if it's actually man, because they used to be like expected for like the PS1 games. Like the cutscenes for Final Fantasy VII were like gorgeous, and then you get to like the actual game, and because it's early PlayStation 1, like their arms were goddamn sausage links. They were made up entirely of like cubes and pyramids, and like God, it's so weird to me because I don't know. I think it's really unfortunate that that the visual style can impact a game so much.
He's still hiding some of his full power.
But I don't know.
Here, Mira. That'll be all.
I
But I
think
just
think
personally like I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go on.
Somebody say something.
I was gonna say that it's really sad that it's really sad that the visual style of a game affects it so immensely here. But like, I'm curious to know if it affects other markets, like if it affects the Japanese market in the similar way.
Realism isn't something that really goes over too well in Japan, but if a game is good, it'll still sell well. So, like, even though Destiny is realistic, the game still did better than most anime-styled games over there.
Well, Destiny was also like riding off of Halo's like coattails hardcore. And it was Bungie. And they also put millions upon millions into marketing.
Yeah. It sold a lot better than Halo did over there.
Sold a lot better than it deserved.
It did sell a lot better than it deserved. And you know what the thing is? I think if your franchise is good enough, eventually art style just doesn't really matter. Because look at Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Those games have horrible visual styles, and they sell goddamn well. At least enough to the point that Sony was like, let's get an exclusive IP from them. Have you seen Bloodborne? It looks like a freaking early Xbox 360 game when you actually play it.
I just haven't been interested at all.
Yeah, I haven't been interested in Bloodborne
nothing
either.
that they've shown us has been like, oh man, I can't wait to play that. Whereas like they show like the squid from Splatoon, and I'm like, give me the game.
Like, remember, I think Chris and I were watching it together. Was it last E3? I can't remember. It was some time ago that they were showing
watching
off
Bloodborne,
and this enemy got a cheap hit in by hiding behind a wall, and the crowd started clapping over it.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember. I remember. Yeah. We were watching it, and Bloodborne came up, and then I woke up 5 minutes later, and it wasn't Bloodborne anymore, and I was happy. Bloodborne. I'm not excited for that at all.
I'm questioning if people thought that was an example of good AI. I'm like, that's not good AI. That's just telling your creature to attack and placing it behind a wall.
Also, anything that gets shown at E3, I'm really skeptical about. Here's something interesting. We keep talking about like the like power, like how powerful a console is every generation, and the graphical fidelity of it. Like those are like huge selling points for the PS4 and the Xbox One, and yet, like, I don't know. I feel like we haven't gotten anything like truly visually impressive, except for maybe, like, out of those systems yet.
I think
it's just
Uncharted
because-
looks promising.
Yeah, it looks promising, true, but that's also not out yet. But it's also like, in terms of just like standing out, it's like, but does it look that much better than the other Uncharted's? And I'm wondering if, I don't know. I think that when it comes to games, I think stylizing is actually really important. I think that's what makes visuals actually last. Because when you go for realism, it's so easily outpaced. Because then the next generation happens, and suddenly, you know,
Your,
the
your
old
game
realistic looks terrible compared to the new realistic.
Yeah.
He won.
It's like I don't know, like I mean, in terms of just
Like,
I don't
go
know,
back and try and play
look at
Grand
the
Theft Auto
look at
3.
so many things. Look at so many things on the GameCube era still like look good today, just because
man.
they were stylized.
Nintendo knew.
And yeah,
Nintendo
they can
still
be
knows.
yeah, they can be remade in HD and look a bit better. Like, you know, Wind Waker HD does look better on the Wii U than it does on you know, the GameCube. But the GameCube version still looks nice because they didn't just go like, let's push for as close to real as we can get with the system's limitations. They were like, let's do something that like can be perfected with what we have.
Same goes for
You know?
Okami. That game looks great in SD and HD.
That's why there are Super Nintendo games that still like look absolutely beautiful today, because that's when they perfected 2D sprite art. Like, those
Yeah.
visuals cannot be improved by better graphical fidelity because they learned how to fully utilize that style.
Like
That's a good point.
Earthbound. Like,
So,
honestly, I doubt I will ever like Earthbound, but it looks so beautiful even today.
Let's do it, Goten.
Man, they knew what they were doing.
They knew so damn well what they were doing. I do wonder if Nair would sell better if it had a more competent artist. Because
it might have. I think,
Yeah.
honestly, well, I mean, Nair is also coming off of... I mean, what can you compare Nair to?
Zelda,
Like, if you compare Nair to Zelda?
it's a
okay.
comparison a lot of people make.
But guess which company is going to try and not give Zelda attention? Any company that's not Nintendo. So they couldn't really advertise their game as like, hey, if you like Zelda, you know?
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of Zelda references in that game.
Whereas with all the Souls games, you know, they can build like a fan base. And so if they make something that's kind of like, you know, if they make something that's kind of like Blood, you know, Bloodborne is kind of like a Souls game. So, or like exactly like a Souls game. But like you can use that. You can say that. You can say like, hey, this massive fan base that already exists for this series of games, you should get this stuff. Even if it ends up being a terrible game, all those people who like that kind of stuff are going to buy it anyways because it looks like something that they like. They associate it with something that they like. And I think that's it's an unfortunate... It's a really unfortunate part of the games industry because it does, in a way, tamp down innovation. Because it makes it feel safer to try and make something that's already been made instead of making something entirely new. Which is why we get so many games that seem like they're, you know, rehashes now. Which is unfortunate.
You know what's
But-
a great game we should all play?
the-
Shadows of the Damned. It's not multiplayer, but goddamn is it good.
What is it, exactly?
It's a third-person shooter. Except it's not like your Gears of War style shooter. It's like a horror shooter type, but
A horror
it's
shooter.
a horror shooter. It's
These
a
games with
comedy.
their violence against women.
It's a comedy. It's pretty great too. It's a Suda 51 game, so. And
Okay,
this is
Suda 51 is always really interesting.
and it's before Lollipop Chainsaw, so you know it's good.
Lollipop Chainsaw was the one time Suda wasn't very interesting.
Killer is Dead was pretty meh.
I need to finish. Miles bought the collector's edition of Killer is Dead because it was because I had told him
51?
about Suda 51. No, because he didn't know anything about Suda 51, but like I saw Killer is Dead there, like I saw the special edition, and I was like, this is interesting. Like I'm interested. It's interesting that the collector's edition is just sitting here, but I guess Killer is Dead also wouldn't sell very well in my neighborhood, so never mind. But yeah, he ended up grabbing it, and I think we played like 20 minutes of it, and then we just haven't actually picked it back up, which is unfortunate. I didn't dislike it.
It's very to me, which sucks because I love Suda 51's games.
Oh, hey, Dingo's here. Hi, Dingo. How are you?
All right, what was our second topic for discussion?
I
Some
know
topic discussion?
Kojima.
Nintendo going mobile, Kojima leaving Konami, and Brian wanted to gush about Devil May Cry 4 for a bit.
I do want to gush about Devil May Cry 4 for a bit. I remember waiting so hard for that game back in 2007, and then 2008 came, and the game came out, and I loved it. And I got Nero's voice actor and motion capture person to sign my copy of the game, and I was so ecstatic. He's voiced and motion captured by Johnny Young Boss. Like, did you ever watch the original Power Rangers?
Yes. Do I remember anything about it? Not really.
Do you remember Power Rangers Turbo? Or
no, I don't remember the series very well.
Do you remember the Asian guy that was the Black Ranger early on?
Dude, Power Rangers is such a blur for me. I remember very little.
Well, he's that guy. He's like the only guy from Power Rangers to have a successful career except Jason David Frank.
I also don't know who. Alright, yeah, continue.
But yeah, actually, all the main characters in Devil May Cry, Virgil, Nero, and Dante, have been voiced by someone who's worked on Power Rangers. It's really weird.
Well, I wonder if the director of Devil May Cry just has like a love affair with Power Rangers.
Granted, Dante's voice actor Ruben Langdon didn't actually do Power Rangers. He did the Japanese version, Super Sentai.
Sentai?
It's called Super Senpai?
In
It's called
Japan,
Super
it's
Senpai?
called Super Sentai.
Super Senpai.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Sentai, not Senpai. Alright. I want Super Senpai to super notice me.
And the thing is, he's a white guy, so you're watching Super Sentai, and it's just a white guy on TV talking in Japanese and becoming a Power Ranger. Wait, was it Super Sentai or was it Kamen Rider? I can't remember.
You're asking me about anime shit, man.
Kamen Rider and Super Sentai did a crossover, so I guess it works.
Rory, do you know a lot of anime? Rory, do you know a lot of like anime stuff?
I know a little bit. I don't know like non-main 5 anime.
So Brian's the only anime guy. Okay.
Brian's like, yeah, the only hardcore anime guy.
I like what I like when I like it.
I'm not criticizing you for being a weeb.
Don't worry, we'll take over. You'll apologize then.
You'll take over, and then like break into like a cold sweat, and need to take like a half-hour break to catch your breath. As you cling to your body pillow. And
Brian.
And eat your Pocky.
You definitely owe me one of.
I definitely owe you what?
Body pillow.
Joe really
Oh,
wants to
that's
join
right.
the
He
podcast,
wants
guys.
a long body pillow.
Joe, we can bring you into a podcast sometime. I'm not against it at all. And I just overrode Brian and said that you could, so if he tries to say no, now he seems like an asshole.
Wait,
You think he wants to know...
Once he does the Monster Girl thing, he's invited whenever.
God damn it. You guys are not doing that Monster Girl thing on the site.
Yes, we
I'm not
are.
I'm not being on a site. I'm not being on a site where you guys do a weekly feature about like monster girls.
Okay, what if we make it about monsters from Monster Hunter? And
I still don't want you to turn them into like pinup dolls or pinup babes.
But wait,
like,
we do it on Monsters from Monster Hunter, but once a month we get to do a Monster Girl.
I want you to try and turn the nibble snarf into a sexy girl. Like I dare you. Try and sexualize the nibble snarf.
Done.
Snarf.
It's all in my head. Snarf. Oh god, now I'm just thinking about fucking, was it Thundercats? Who had Snarf as a
It was Thundercats.
It was
Yeah,
Thundercats.
that was
Jesus.
Thundercats.
Oh god. Alright, let's move on. Nintendo going mobile. Nintendo's dead, guys. They're not making games anymore. They're just making phone games. No,
Even though they already stated that they're still dedicated in the console business, they're dead.
Yeah, no, I think what that means is they're just going to start integrating mobile stuff into their thing. I think it'll be small stuff, maybe like a couple like small puzzle games based off of Pokemon and Mario or whatever. They're just like easy to make. Or like
Time
companion
wasters.
apps, well, stuff like a mobile Pokédex too would be interesting. Stuff like that.
There
you know?
already is a mobile Pokemon.
One that doesn't come for $15.
Yeah, one
Right.
that's licensed by Nintendo, and I don't know, or just like little companion apps. I don't know.
Well,
Here we
they
go.
are,
Check it.
they're working on games. They partnered with Dena to make the games.
What did Dena do? I don't know mobile developers at all.
Dena has made a shit ton of successful mobile games. Have you ever heard of? I think it's called Rage of Bahamut. It's like this. It's one of those smartphone games that's based around collecting cards. And
I
using them
don't
in
have-
battle.
Pretty sure it's
I don't-
pronounced Bahamut, but
It's what?
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Bahamut.
Brian,
Bahamut.
Brian, I really know nothing about mobile games. I barely have and mobile. So
To put it in perspective, Dana is a company that has done a lot of microtransactions in a lot of their games, but they do make good games themselves.
I feel like Nintendo. I don't know. I feel like
There's a
Nintendo would
breakdown.
try to. I feel like Nintendo would try to hold back on the. Well, I don't know. What
Nintendo.
how do you think?
Here we go. So Nintendo's gonna not. They're gonna get involved with the mobile, whatever. I think it's like you said. It's gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be a lot of companion apps, and I think that it's gonna be a lot of like time-wasting puzzle games that you can make in like 25 minutes. I don't think it's gonna be anything that like they have to put like a ton of resources towards. It's not gonna be like it's gonna be like something like Pokemon Shuffle.
Well,
It's gonna be something like that.
Well, Nintendo are the actual developers of the game. It's just Dena's going to be assisting with the back end of things.
Okay.
So Nintendo
Because they know the hardware.
Apparently, yeah.
I guess that makes more sense because the reason. I mean, Nintendo is a relatively small company. I mean, they're a large company, but when it comes to like the size of their development teams and how many development teams they have, like it's really astounding how much they put out for how small their teams are. So adding like a whole other market, I guess it makes sense to because they would have to learn mobile like entirely. So if they just whose phone is it? Pick up your goddamn phone.
Oh,
Brian.
my mom picked it up.
Please
Sorry
put your
about
phone on vibrate when we're doing these podcasts, Brian.
That wasn't my phone. That was my home phone.
Please put it on vibrate while we're doing these podcasts, Brian.
I can't help when my dad calls.
Do you imagine if, like, suddenly, like, the phone that's hung up on your wall just starts shaking violently?
One of those.
Your whole wall, like, all the pots and pans in the kitchen just start rattling. Anyways. Yeah, well, I mean, we've already seen kind of their take on that sort of philosophy, that free-to-play microtransaction philosophy with Rusty's Real Deal Baseball, which I think they actually handled really well.
And before
this is-
Rusty's Real Deal iPhone game.
Ooh, I wonder. Actually, Rusty's Real Deal Baseball actually could translate to a mobile game pretty easily.
Yeah.
I
It totally
wonder.
could.
I wonder.
Mobile Pokemon Snap. You go to Walmart and you have to
That'd
turn
be-
over the box, look at the barcode, snap it, random Pokemon. A box,
I think-
a bag of Cheerios, a box of Cheerios gets you Mew.
I think it'd be like cool to have some sort of integration with that. Like have a way of making something that the phone is much more portable than the DS. So make it more immersive. So have your app do something like that where you go out, you take a picture, and that picture translates back to the game.
It's over.
And you just have to make the reward for doing that relevant enough that the player will want to do that.
Did you really do it?
Oh,
Dingo says mobile Pokemon Snap. How interesting would that be if it was just like a game that uses like your camera or whatever, and you just like hold it up and look around, and you'll see like Pokemon like hiding behind things.
Yeah, exactly.
that would
Except that
require
would be a lot
shit
of work.
ton of development.
That's a ton of work, and for the architecture, that's probably really unrealistic. But just how cool would that be? A Chris London simulator. Dingo, don't put my personal name on the internet. My parents will get mad.
I hear Chris London Simulator is really great. You get to act in movies that no one gives a shit about. You get to think you're the greatest.
You get
driver
blown
in
on
the
set. You
world.
just get blown on film constantly.
Well,
That's all it
you
is.
get to think you're the greatest.
The Chris
writer
London
in the
simulator.
world.
The Chris London simulator is basically just it's just the scene from
Blowjob
Shabbat Dinner
simulator.
over and over. Listen, what are the roles in the film? Oh yeah. I especially love the scenario where you just get to kill a Mexican guy, like
What?
over and over.
Sorcerer.
Yeah, I did a movie called Beaner where it's just about two kids who just kill a Mexican guy, and it was supposed to have a point, but then in the editing room they're like, the scene doesn't really work, so they took out the point. They took out like the whole point of the movie, and
To create a world
so
where
now it's just a film where like
history-
we just roll up on this Mexican guy and kill him, and then like leave, and then like leave,
What did you do?
and so it's just like something that's there, and I'm just kind of like, well, this is something nobody ever needs to see. So.
Well, I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, I'm glad that I sat in like a car with black tarp over it in over 100-degree like temperatures to shoot this film that I'd never want to show anybody.
Well, to be fair, you did do what's it called, Cyberpunch?
Power?
Cyberpunch is glorious.
Just thought about my age now.
All right,
thank you.
Cyberpunch was made on a budget of $20,
No, I didn't.
What
and
is
you can
that?
tell.
How old I am anyway?
I was waiting for it. I was like, there's a catch.
We need to thwart
There's a
his
catch.
evil
Just wait for it.
and keep him from
Jesus
escaping from the
Christ.
crack of time.
With
Oh.
CGI somehow better than District 9.
CGI better than District 9. There is no CGI. Well, I guess the one CGI is the kind of Doctor Who-ish like teleportation into cyberspace. That's like the only like effect in the entire thing. And he was talking about like all these effects he wanted to put in it, and then he just got lazy and didn't. So there's all these times where like a screen is supposed to like pop up, and it's supposed to be like, oh look, it's kind of futury, but nothing ever does. And it's just so much about that. There's so many. We need to. I told him that we need to sit down and just do, just like watch the whole thing through and just do like a commentary of it, just telling all these stories. Because honestly, the stories behind making that film are way better than the film itself. But yeah. Anyways, point is, Nintendo Mobile. What the fuck? No, like, do you think that they're gonna take advantage of a lot of the of the whole, you know, how do we put this? The microtransaction. Do you think that they're gonna start basically ripping people off with it?
I think
Because we have seen games. Because we have seen games kind of like Bravely Default. A lot of people were upset by the kind of microtransaction nonsense going on there, but that also was developed by Square, not by Nintendo. So, I don't know. What do you do
I
about
think
that?
that Nintendo has a chance to, like, I read like an interview with Time or whatever with Satoru Iwata, and it basically he just talked about how like he thinks that free to play should be called free to start. I thought that was really cool that he said that, because it's so true.
It is.
It's like
It's more honest.
It's much more honest, and he says that he thinks that they, through this mobile expansion, that they can kind of change people's opinion of free to play games, and try to put it into a more positive light than it currently is. And I think that they can do that based on the way that they go about making their games. Their design philosophy is a lot different. It's about having fun with the games. It's not about generating the profits. Well, it is, but it's much more important to them that they make a game that's fun for people to play. I think that one of the ways that they can do this is that they can try to implement, because phones can use NFC, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they could have some sort of bullshit amiibo support in their mobile games. I don't know how that would work, but I think that's a legitimate idea that they should consider.
It would definitely give more people reason to buy Amiibo.
Yeah, so like you carry around, like I have like my Kirby amiibo like all the time. Like you carry around your one amiibo or whatever. You're playing a game on the train and you snap the amiibo on and you have this new feature in your game that you never knew. I don't know.
Joe brings up a good point. Nintendo's handled DLC pretty well so far. It's like so far, like they've had options where they could, like rip off the consumer. But as far as like the DLC goes, like with Mario Kart and Hyrule Warriors, they've given us a lot of content, even more than they originally promised, for a fairly low price, and they've done a pretty good job on it. Like it seems like they really are kind of sticking to their guns in terms of actually earning the extra money that they make with DLC instead of just creating like a Mafia War situation where it's like, hey, do you want to be able to play? Keep giving us keep giving us your money.
Oh,
Sort of
God.
Exactly.
My dad was addicted to Mafia Wars for like a year. I'm surprised he stopped now that I think about it. Whatever happened to Mafia Wars?
It's still there.
It is?
Pretty sure. It's like a mobile game, right?
Thank
Yeah. Do you think,
you. Now then.
so do you think they'll try and do it more like free to start and then like there's DLC where you get to do extra stuff? Kind of, wasn't it
Maybe.
kind of like that with Final Fantasy IV The After Years?
Like
No, you
maybe
had to buy the
something
first episode, didn't you?
like maybe something where they give you like a game and you can play like the basic game as much as you want, but then it's like if you enjoyed this, like here's like a more fleshed out like
Experience.
other adventure or chapter that you can pay for or something.
So like The After Years, where you get the beginning and the ending, but you can buy all these additional episodes that happen in between.
Maybe.
I think that going off that point, though, they could also use it as a tool to say, here's another mobile game that we have available that's similar that you might like, and here's another game that's on 3DS that you might like.
And having both gets you extra content in the games.
Something like that, where it's just like a benefit to both parties.
One thing I do like though is that it sounds like because of the Dena partnership, it's what's going to replace Club Nintendo and
Yeah.
Nintendo 73. It sounds like we're finally going to get closer to universal accounts for your 3DS and Wii U. Well, connected.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And it goes in conjunction with your mobile. So Wii U, 3DS, and mobile, all one account.
And PC.
And
That'd be
PC?
interesting.
Wouldn't it be amazing if you buy
if they-
a game on a 3DS, you get a free mobile game? Or like, you buy a mobile game, you get a free 3DS game? Or like
Well,
a
like-
cheap 3DS game, but yeah.
Yeah.
Or if
That's-
they, or if they do,
that's-
or if they do cross over and like provide extra content, like if you've got, like they could do that. Like, okay, how cool would it be if say you have like like a Pokemon game or whatever. If you could like have like an app that let you transfer one of your Pokemon over to like your phone or something, and you could like take them with you. Then you using your phone's like GPS or whatever. Like it records like how much you traveled, and it I don't know like do something with your Pokemon. Like have it like look for items or maybe gain experiences or something. Like I don't know like using mobile apps basically to add more features to an already existing complete game.
Yep.
Oh, one thing I do like about the partnership is that it's pushing the idea Nintendo wants of giving the consumer cheaper stuff. So like, it seems like maybe if you're a loyal enough customer, you'll start getting regular discounts on digital games.
That'd be nice.
Maybe, yeah. It's all about connecting everything. So like, when you do something on the phone, something else should happen with your 3DS or your Wii U. It can't just stop at being part of the phone. It has to be, if they want to have this unified system of account, then they have to have it so that it really is. So you buy something on the phone, you get points for their new like loyalty plan, that kind of thing. Where something else happens, it doesn't just stop. The experience doesn't just stop at the phone or the 3DS. It comes full circle all the way around, so that you have a consumer base that you're pleasing by giving them all this stuff. The only problem with that is if you're somebody who only likes to play the mobile games, then that system doesn't work for you, and they have to figure out that kind of problem too.
I honestly don't think that they're going to go money hungry with this, because I think Nintendo realizes that one of the worst things you can do for business economically is to piss off your customers.
Oh yeah.
Which seems like something that not a lot of people understand. Although I don't know, like fucking Ubisoft's getting away with Assassin's Creed Unity, so What are you gonna do?
Didn't they eventually
Yep.
break away from that though with Unity?
What
Like
do you
there
mean?
was so much bitching that they just stopped entirely.
I don't even know.
Um,
Like, I just remember it was a huge mess and they screwed everybody over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first thing they patched in the game was the microtransactions.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the fact that the game was not working like it should.
I think the game hadn't even the game hadn't even been out yet, and like people who like had like review copies or whatever were like reporting on the fact that like there was already an update and it wasn't like fixing problems. It was something like
I
that.
still need to beat Sunset Overdrive now that I think about it.
No, you
Or
don't.
you could just sell your Xbox One because there's no games coming out on it.
Got some pretty good moves there.
But I want Halo
Well
5.
training.
No, you don't.
Oh, Brian. When will you come to your senses and realize that buying a $300, $400 console is not worth
I got it
one
for
game?
80.
You got it for 80?
Yeah, my friend bought it for 400 and he didn't want it anymore, so he sold it to me for 80.
Still.
Because
I
GameStop
mean-
wanted to give him like 60.
Are you
He could have just
serious?
sold it. He could have just sold it online and gotten like hundreds back.
I know.
Oh well.
But,
But hey, your game, so why complain about it? Yeah,
I also got, I think he gave me, no, he didn't give me a game with it. Because I already had Xbox Live, though, I got a few games for free right off the bat. Like Crimson Dragon or whatever it's called, a game that I was looking for.
yeah, the one that's like a Panzer Dragoon Order. Whatever.
Yeah, I wanted it because it was like Panzer Dragoon Order, and I think it was the same director or producer, and like the game's it's like it plays like a Panzer Dragoon game to some extent, but otherwise it's
You know, without help.
I'm gonna end up getting a PS4 eventually, just because I will want to play those multi-platform games. I'm gonna want to get Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15 and everything, and I would rather get the PlayStation 4 than the Xbox One. So, because eventually the PlayStation 4 will get a couple exclusives I care about, whereas Xbox is gonna have Halo, which I don't care about, especially now.
And it sucks because Fable Legends is even coming to PC, so it's not an exclusive. So if that
Yeah,
was
even
an exclusive-
Fable isn't Xbox exclusive anymore.
Yeah.
So
Even Dead Rising 3 isn't exclusive anymore.
So, like, I don't know. They have to really fix their situation.
Oh boy. What was the next? Oh yeah, there was. We also had the idea of talking about Kojima leaving Konami.
What's the matter?
Bless you.
I know you've got more than that.
Actually, I'm an atheist.
What? Oh, never mind.
Probably
So,
referencing one of the worst comedians ever.
Uh,
Dane Cook.
Dane
Kojima?
Cook.
Oh,
While
Dane Cook.
fighting
Alright.
yes,
Cook.
Kojima before he.
I was
started
like,
working
we're
had a
talking about
career
Kojima, and
as
suddenly
a
you're talking
stand-up
about
comic.
You're quite a G.
Kojima's gotten so bored of trying to put film in his games, he's decided that Metal Gear Solid 5 is just going to be a long stand-up
Way
routine.
too strong for me.
Kiefer Sutherland voice acting. It's all a ruse. It's just gonna be Kojima voice acting.
They're playing us like a damn fiddle.
Try,
Why did that line get so much like hate?
I don't
Like
know.
I understand that it sounds ridiculous, but they're coming out of a Metal Gear Solid game complaining about this. I'm just like, have you not played any of the other ones? Like,
Do you not care about the memes?
do you think that love can bloom even on the battlefield?
No.
Think that love can bloom even on the battlefield? Like, I don't like. I'm sorry. That's one of the game's like most iconic lines, and people like quote it all the fucking time, and then they're gonna freak out about play us like a damn fiddle.
Yeah, I was replaying Metal Gear Solid, and just like some of the lines in there are terrible.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Oh
Possible.
no!
Oh, no!
Oh,
See, my friend.
oh,
Being hit by
fuck!
You know, part of the rumor is that since so they say Kojima's leaving Konami, right? After he finishes Metal Gear Solid 5. So, part of the rumor is that he's not going to let Konami use the Fox engine, and as a
Really?
result, Silent Hills has been canceled.
Silent Hills has been canceled. Is that a rumor or confirmed? I'm sorry, I wasn't
That's a
listening.
rumor that
There's
at least-
no way there's no way they're gonna let Silent Hills just not happen. It's gonna sell like that's one of the most like
Plus, it's got that dude from freaking Walking Bread.
yeah
What-
it's yeah
does he play
it's
Daryl, or what's his name?
it's got Norman
pronounced
Reedus from
Darrell.
Walking Dead. It's got Norman Reedus from Walking Dead as the lead character. It's got Guillermo del Toro working on it, and Kojima's making it, and it's one of the most hyped games. They're not gonna cancel it because of a squabble. Like
If
that would be
anything, they'd
people's
make a
business
new
decision of
engine
it.
for it.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Marketing stunt. It's all just a big marketing stunt. Kojima's gonna stay at the company for the rest of his life, make cinematic games, and that
Konami,
will be it.
watch it. All Kojima production and references to Kojima working on Metal Gear have been removed because Konami's just renaming themselves Kojima.
Kojima has just absorbed.
Kojima makes more money than Konami now, so
Kojima just buys Konami as like the whole studio works for one man.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt if that's a thing that eventually happens.
hey, it could.
Kojima Studios publishing the next Castlevania game.
Kojima.
Jedi
I love
Master
the
Return. You love the what?
I love the idea of Capcom actually selling their properties and Nintendo buying all of them. You know?
Yeah, I would be down.
They are up for grabs. I don't know why the frick they haven't.
I don't know why nobody's taking advantage of the fact that they can buy some of these Capcom properties that have huge fan bases that aren't like being utilized right now. Like the fact that nobody has like leapt up to buy Mega Man and actually revive it and have like one of the biggest names in gaming under their wing. Like Nintendo, you want to sell you want to fucking sell Wii U's? Get fucking Mega Man and revive that on the Wii U, and you'll sell consoles like crazy.
Well, to be fair, they're not selling the IPs. You have to buy the company.
Okay, so buy Capcom and have access to fucking everything.
I know, you'd sell your shit like hotcakes. It amazes me that Sony didn't buy them because they partnered with them for Street Fighter V.
Street Fighter. Yeah.
Like what the? Why not just buy the whole damn company? I get that it's cheaper to fund a game than a company, but
Imprisoned in the
Jesus,
crack of time.
you'd make your money back.
I fear
That's for sure.
he may break out soon.
Yeah. I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, what else does Capcom have? Capcom has like Mega Man. What else do they have?
They got
Dark
Devil May
Stalkers.
Cry.
The DMC. What other intellectual properties do they have?
Resident Evil.
Well, they could have Resident Evil. They could have Street Fighter.
Ace Attorney.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright. Nintendo owning Phoenix Wright would be huge.
Monster Hunter.
Nintendo owning Monster Hunter, they practically already do. But like, if that became an official Nintendo property, they could revive. Okami, bringing back Okami would be big. There's so much that they could do. Capcom has so many properties, and so few of them are being utilized.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, they can bring back Ghosts and Goblins.
Bring back Ghost and Goblins as
Goof Troop.
Bring it back as
No,
Dark
seriously.
Souls.
Seriously, bring back it as a Dark Souls.
Dark Souls for kids. Ghosts and Goblins. There you go.
Also, Okami apparently is Capcom.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Lost Planet, Dead Rising, Dragon's Dogma.
My sister's really looking forward to Dragon's Dogma Online. Even though it's the same damn thing as Dragon's Dogma. She's like, but like the main general consensus is like Dragon's Dogma was really missing online.
Please, just
So, Okay.
I was like, did you guys die?
Considering
A little bit.
all things,
A little
I have
bit?
like a massive headache. I don't know why.
try
Would that be?
Um,
I'm gonna go in 5 minutes ish.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up soon. It's been going for a while.
Yeah.
Going back to art style, real briefly.
might be good.
I just want to
How well you do.
point out. I think looking at like my shelf, I think one of the only, I think like one of the most stylized
Yes.
games, like in terms of like the box art cover, the one who goes beyond just like showing something from the game, like on the front, in like a nice picture, is Persona 4, and I know very little about the series, but I have kind of appreciated how each one seems to pick like a color and then like make that color the big thing. Like 4 is yellow and 5 is red. I think wasn't 3 blue or something.
3 is blue if you're playing as a boy, and it's pink if you're playing as a girl.
That's sexist.
Especially because pink used to be a male color.
It's only
Yeah, fun
pink
fact.
if you're playing. The girls only in the PSP version, so there's that.
Are you ready?
But can we just talk about how beautiful Persona 5's
Oh,
menus
you are.
are?
Ready.
Just the command menu alone, how it changes based on what you're doing. It's so beautiful.
My
know
brother
what?
bought Persona 4 the other day.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Has he discovered why Chie's ultimate waifu?
I don't know, but he has told me that he thinks that I would like the game, and I'm considering playing it now.
Reese is my attention.
Are we
Chie,
immediately
there's a reason.
best friends, Brian? Or
There's a reason there's a Church of Chie.
All right. Here we go.
so weird.
How come all the Yu-Gi-Oh games have an anime art style?
Opponent is the god of destruction.
You know what's odd? The art style for the manga was actually much more realistic when it started, and then it
Really?
just slowly became incredibly stylized. Like, if you look at Joey and Tristan at the beginning, they looked much more realistic. The corner, like, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh has very sharp corners and edges?
Yeah.
And yeah, like everything before that was nice and curved in a realistic fashion. I mean, Yugi
Yeah,
still had
Yu-Gi-Oh
his
was.
hair. Like, his
He
hair,
used to look sick, man.
he did look sick. Like, legit, it looked like he had some kind of crippling disease.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, yo, can we
So-
wrap?
Can we rap? Absolutely. Fuck the police. Get straight from the underground.
I'm a white boy, but my neck is red. I put Miracle Whip on my Wonder Bread.
There. Okay.
Yo,
So
yo.
there's as most of you guys, as all like 2 of you in the chat probably know, we missed last
Holy
week
shit!
for our podcast because we were a bit busy. Brian was finishing college and I was shooting a film. And so the reason I'm telling you this is, while I was shooting that film, they managed to get a recording before we started doing a take, because we had to pause because there were a bunch of police cars going by, sirens and everything, kind of stalled the take. And so we started joking around, and they have an audio recording of me doing the first verse of Fuck the Police by NWA. So that's now something that can end my career if I ever get anywhere and they decide they want to blackmail me.
So we're starting a campaign called Free Chris.
Free Chris with every purchase. You buy Shabbat dinner and Chris will come over and get blown for free. Oh, Jesus.
Please
Wow.
no.
I think that's just
How do we
fine.
always manage? How do we always manage to end this thing on like the worst note possible?
That's Hammerspace for you.
Don't worry, Rory, I can top it.
Like the curtains pull over. There's like Bugs Bunny's like walking on with like the cane and the top hat.
Don't worry, Rory, I'm gonna end this on a slightly better note.
Ah, 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 ah.
Why is Chris laughing so hard?
He said, "I'm gonna end this on a good note," and
Oh
then
god damn it. I forgot that he said that. I immediately forgot. Fuck you, man.
Please.
all right, I'm gonna go.
All right.
I will.
All right,
Watch
bye, Roy.
About dinner.
This
I will-
is all right, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Hammerspace. Thank you for joining us, and may all your days be bright and all your spaces be fully hammered.
I was thinking
you know
about
what I mean.
exit being we'll see you next time in the Hammerspace, but
We'll see you next time in the Hammerspace. Or,
yeah, I mean
don't forget, we're the Hammerspace, where you can put all your shit.
we will make sure your wife doesn't find out.
Hey guys, welcome to Hammerspace. Okay, bye. Bye, thanks for joining everybody.